As we begin this journey of leader development, the outcomes and impact of the program will be determined by our collective desire for growth. It will require commitment, acceptance, and particularly patience with ourselves, but also a willingness to engage in the opportunity. A book that has literally had a tremendous impact on hundreds of thousands of individuals is Chop Wood, Carry Water: How to Fall in Love with the Process of Becoming Great by Joshua Medcalf. It is a powerful book that delves into the importance of patience, dedication, and embracing the journey toward mastery. Set as an allegorical story, it follows the journey of a young man named John who dreams of becoming a samurai archer and learns from his wise sensei, Akira. Through the seemingly simple task of chopping wood and carrying water, John discovers the profound truth that true greatness isn't about grand moments or quick achievements, but about finding purpose in the small, often overlooked steps along the way. Medcalf uses this narrative to highlight universal lessons in discipline, humility, and resilience, offering insights that apply to anyone pursuing a goal. At its core, Chop Wood, Carry Water is about learning to find fulfillment in everyday practice, reminding us that the journey itself is as valuable as the destination. Chop Wood, Carry Water, Chapter 1. For as long as his family could remember, John and his younger brother Jordan had been in love with the samurai culture of Japan. When John was only 8 years old, his family visited many places in Asia. He and Jordan excitedly explored every place they visited and dreamt of returning one day to become their favorite type of samurai warriors, archers. A year later, tragedy struck as the family was in a bad car accident, and Jordan was severely injured. The rest of the family was pretty banged up, but Jordan was barely hanging on to life in the ICU. For the first few months, John sat at his bedside, only leaving the hospital to shower a few times a week, reading him stories throughout the day of the samurai culture that they both loved so much. Every night they would fall asleep to Jackie Chan movies. John's parents even let him miss the first month of school. Eventually, after 5 months of being in the hospital, Jordan was cleared to go home. The doctor said he would never again be able to talk, walk, or feed himself. Jordan still found ways to communicate and play with John, and they became even more close than they were before the accident. John always admired his brother's positive attitude despite his circumstances. The doctor said that for Jordan to go through a normal day, it required as much energy as it does for the average person to run a marathon. As John entered his teenage years, he never forgot their shared love of the samurai, and over time, his fascination turned to deep admiration and lasting respect. He began to think more and more about pursuing it in his future. Finally, when he turned 18, John bought a one-way ticket to an ancient city in Japan, intent on fulfilling his boyhood dream. He enrolled as an apprentice to a small community of samurai who lived outside the city walls, practicing their timeless traditions. There he knew he would become a samurai archer. When John arrived, he was greeted by a friendly old sensei named Akira. He helped John unload his bags and get settled. As they walked the grounds, taking a look at the advanced training areas and shooting ranges, John grew more and more excited. This place was amazing. He couldn't wait to get started. But the next morning, Akira gathered the newly arrived apprentices and informed them of their first task. For the rest of the morning, they must chop wood and carry water. John was surprised and confused. He addressed his teacher with the proper title of respect that they had been taught. Akira sensei, what do you mean? The old man explained that their community was outfitted with every modern convenience, except for heat and running water. Instead of using gas or electricity, they burned wood for heat when the weather grew cold. And in order to use water in the bathrooms and kitchen, it must be brought by hand from a well outside. Thus, in order for the community to use water and stay warm during the winter, the community depended on everyone to chop wood and carry water. But when will we get to shoot? John wondered aloud. Akira just smiled. Shooting will come soon enough, but first you must chop wood and carry water. John was frustrated, but he obeyed. He trusted his sensei's wisdom and knew that in time they would move on to more exciting things.